What's up guys, Knifezoid here, and today I want to talk about 5 reasons everyone needs a trainer. Now, I made a video a while ago that was titled, Should I Learn on a Trainer? And that video was more specific to if you're new to a volley song, what are the pros and cons in learning with a live blade compared to learning with a trainer. And a lot of times when we talk about this, when this discussion is brought up, it's very black and white. It's either yes or no. You know, using a trainer is a good idea, it's a bad idea, and usually you have either people who did or they didn't, or maybe they kind of mix the two. This video is not really about that. I think there's actually 5 and many more good reasons to have a trainer, even if you learn on a live blade. I myself learned on a live blade. I never had a trainer. I do think there's a lot of benefits in that, but there's actually a lot of reasons why having a trainer is a good idea besides just learning. Like if you already are using a live blade, there's a lot of times a trainer can come in handy. One, a trainer is actually really handy when you want to flip or you want to get a session in, but you have to go out and do something, or you're right about to go to work or attend a meeting, or maybe you're dressed up for an occasion. At the last blade show, right before I had an important meeting, somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want to get some footage with the new replicant?" So of course, me being a flipper, I'm like, all right, and of course I want to, get on film. And of course, me being a flipper, I decided to go a lot bigger than I probably should have. It was a brand new blade, razor sharp, sliced myself across the hand, across the knuckles, blood everywhere. And of course, I'm surrounded by 10 flippers. Not one of them had a Band-Aid. Somebody actually offered me a used Band-Aid, which I declined. On my way to the bathroom, I actually saw the person I was supposed to meet and couldn't even shake their hand because my hand was just wrapped up and all bloody, and it was just really unprofessional. And had I just used a trainer in that situation, I would have just avoided that whole mess, literally. As flippers, we tend to always be flipping, always thinking of ideas. But if you're about to get into your car to go to work, or if you're about to do something that's important, getting cut right before that is definitely a huge inconvenience. It can get on your clothes, it can get on your car. You have to wrap yourself up. You could end up being late, whatever the case is. Or, if it's maybe a sporting event or something like that, obviously cutting your hand right before that particular event is going to affect your performance adversely. So that's kind of where a trainer can actually be handy, even if you normally flip with a live blade. Number 2, a trainer is actually a great way to predict how a knife is going to handle before you try a big new trick or some kind of some territory you're not familiar with. And this is particularly important for power aerials. I'm not a big power aerial guy, but the times that I have done it, the knife moved in a way that was completely not what I expected. Power aerials are very unpredictable. In our heads, we think the knife is going to fly a certain way, and then you go for the move and you're a little bit too much to the right, or you didn't angle your body enough, and the knife, instead of flying up, it goes straight, and it goes 20 feet, 50 feet somewhere, and God forbid it hits some kind of bystander, someone nearby. Or maybe you angle your body the right way, it ends up hitting your shoulder or your face, and that obviously can be pretty detrimental with a power aerial. So the trainer can kind of like make you get a good feel for the general body motion, the general angles that you need to be in order to nail that trick. And if you do it and get used to it with the trainer, when you go live, it's less likely that you'll make that humongous mistake and launch the knife 50 feet in a direction you never intended. Number 3, a trainer is legal. It's not technically a knife, so you can use it pretty much anywhere. Now, I do say that with a word of caution because it does look like a knife. It does imitate a knife, and in some situations that might not be allowed. That might not be a good look. It might still get you in trouble just because somebody might think you're flipping a live blade. So you have to kind of use your best judgment in that situation, but it isn't a knife. So a lot of people have asked us to make a trainer because they live in states or countries where they're not allowed to own a live blade, but they want to flip. They still want to participate in the art and sport of volley song manipulation. So it's great to have. Also, there are certain places, even if it's legal in your state or your country, maybe in your workplace, maybe in wherever you are, there's a policy where you can't have a weapon or something to that effect. So the next best thing is to flip with a trainer. And that's kind of important because there might be certain people who are in those situations for a long time, and you don't want to be outside of practice for too long. So that trainer can come in handy in places where you can't have your live blade, but you can still keep up with the practice. Number 4, a trainer is safer to flip around people, pets, or other objects that you otherwise wouldn't want to cause harm. But we don't really think about this very often as flippers. I mean, if you look at flipping footage, we're kicking knives to each other, throwing knives to each other, but not everyone's a flipper, right? So you're gonna be in situations, maybe you go over to someone's house, relative's house, you're visiting the in-laws or people are coming over. You wanna flip, but I don't think in that situation everyone's gonna be comfortable with you flailing a knife around, right? So that's where a trainer kind of comes in handy. You can flip in environments where you have to be cautious of damaging product or the things around you. So it's a great tool to have. So you can continue your practice. You can continue doing everything that you want to do with less chance of harm coming to anything around you. Number 5, this is my favorite reason, and I think this is a reason that we don't talk about enough as flippers. Obviously, we want the sport and the art of body saw manipulation to grow, but a trainer is a great way to introduce people to flipping. If you are flipping a live blade and you hand that to somebody who might be a little bit curious or is like, hey, how do you do that? What exactly is it that you're doing? If you hand them a razor sharp blade, they're not going to want to flip that. It's pretty intimidating. You hear it all the time. So, if I did that, I'd cut all my fingers off. A trainer is a great way. If you have a trainer on you, you can take this and you can hand this over to somebody and show them the moves. And as soon as they know that this is not a sharp blade, that fear factor is taken away. They can kind of like freely be interested in the art and the tricks of flipping, and you can actually show them things and you can flip around them, and taking away that intimidation of a razor sharp edge and getting cut really opens up their ears and their eyes and their interest to learning. So I think that this is a great thing to have. You can have your live blade, but you can always bring your trainer so that when somebody is interested, you can hand them the trainer and they can kind of mirror what you're doing. You can explain different things, and you never know. They might say, hey, that's pretty fun. They'll get the trainer, and then eventually they might move on to a live blade, or maybe they won't, but at least they get into the sport of flipping and they understand what we're doing. So those are my top 5. I'd love to hear any other reasons you guys might have. Leave them in the comments below. We're always interested in having a dialogue about that. But we are very, very excited for the Barebones trainer. This is really going to open up the doors for a lot of people. A lot of people have been asking for this for a very long time. Make sure to check out our Instagram. We are doing a giveaway of one of these trainers. The rules and everything are in our Facebook post. So make sure you check that out. I'll put the rules in the comments below as well so you guys can enter. Thanks for watching.